Hello everyone, my name is Euphonia, and welcome to my Magic and Necromancer build for the High Isle patch. Before I get started, I just want to apologize for my voice. I recently had some oral surgery, so my voice is a bit off, but now that that's out of the way, we can get started. So this build is very strong. It's a 1-bar Magic and Necromancer build using the new Oakensoul Mythic. It has really strong burst and is almost unkillable unless you get too greedy. And it has practically infinite sustain. If you put on a certain Mundus Stone, it does have infinite sustain. So, starting off with the gear, I'm using, obviously, the Oakensoul Mythic. This makes it so you cannot swap bars, but it also gives you practically every single major buff in the game. The big ones here are that you get major resolve and major sorcery, so you don't, and prophecy, so you don't need to have those like buff abilities slotted on your bars. So it does free up a lot of bar space. But then you also get Major Berserk, Major Courage, Major Force, Major Protection, and Major Heroism, which are all incredibly strong buffs, allowing you to hit very hard, heal for a lot, not take a lot of damage, and spam ultimates. The first set is Dark Convergence. Obviously, Magic and Necromancer, bombing, pulling everyone in, blowing everyone up. It is not the most fair setup, but it is incredibly powerful. So I have one Nirnhound sword and then a sharpened mace. This is the highest damage with penetration mix that you can get. Otherwise, I would go 2 maces, 1 Nirnhound, 1 charged. That is also a good setup, but it will be slightly less damage, but for more pressure. Then, my second set is Iron Blood. This makes it so that when you take damage, you have a slight chance to take 30% damage and have reduced movement speed. The movement speed is a pretty big deal, but when we already have 10% less damage taken from Major Protection with Oakensoul, you're on a Necromancer, so you're just inherently tanky, and you have 30% less damage taken. You become just a tank that can one-shot people on this build. We're using full Harmony Jewelry with 2 spell damage glyphs and a reduced magical cost glyph. We have 3 heavy pieces on the body, 1 medium piece, and 3 light. 1 reinforced, 4 divines, 2 impen. We have 1 piece Magma Incarnate for magic and stamina recovery. We're using full prismatic glyphs, Nirnhound sword, sharpened mace, flame glyph, shock glyph. We are a high elf. Imperial would be good. Nord might be good. You get a bit more resistance and a bit more ults, but it's not going to be the same. Dark elf would be good. I don't think Breton would be as good because you don't need the sustain. But the common races are all strong. I have 9 points in health, 55 points in magicka. My Mundus is the Apprentice. You can also have the Atronach if you want unlimited sustain, but I've been able to sustain fine with the Apprentice. The Thief Stone and the Shadow, I haven't tested them, but they will also probably be strong. But I chose the Apprentice because it increases the damage of our proc set, and it also increases healing. And I've been able to kill people fine without relying on crits. We are a Stage 3 Vampire, and we have Orzorga's Smoked Bear Haunch. The cheap version of this food is the Jewels of Misrule. It gives slightly less health, it does not give health recovery, and it gives slightly less stam and mag recovery. For our skills, we have 1 bar, so it's just very easy. We have Stalking Blast Wounds. You want to use this on cooldown to apply pressure. It's a big burst. It's AoE. It does more damage for every second that it exists, and it applies. It's the one of the parts of the big burst combo. Next, we have Resistant Flush. This is the strongest burst heal in the game. It heals for a ton. It applies minor defile to yourself, but it's not really that noticeable. And when you heal, you get spell and physical resistance for half the amount that you heal for. I think with this build, I've seen it go up to 35k physical and spell resistances, which is way above the cap. It's really strong, and physical and spell resistance are not even as powerful as the flat mitigation you get from Iron Blood and Major Protection. Next, we have Blood for Blood. This is our spammable. It's a bit weird, at least in my experiences, because it feels like it has a really short range, but it hits really hard. It costs health, so you don't need to worry about magic sustain spamming this. And the part about you can't be healed by allies, you don't really need to worry about this because the healing on the build is already so strong anyway. Our next skill is Intensive Mender. This, every 2 seconds, heals me for 10,000 tooltip. It is ridiculously strong. I don't understand why it hasn't been nerfed. You can go the other morph, Undead Guardian. I haven't tested that. That would give you 10% more mitigation. But personally, I think the healing is... The greater healing of Intensive Mender is far stronger than the 10% less damage taken. And our final active ability is Avid Boneyard. This is the other main part of the burst, because when you drop it on the ground, you can instantly activate the synergy button and do a big AoE burst around you. This is why we have the 3 harmony trait on the jewelry, because it increases the damage of the synergy. And so you time a blast bones with this, and you can kill most squishier targets. And then our ultimate is Pestilent Colossus. It's an expensive ultimate, but with major heroism, you can get it fairly easily. And we're so tanky that if you get into a fight with someone who also is tanky and can't just be one-shot by a Blast Bones with Boneyard, this will be able to finish them off. You can go Dawnbreaker. It's a cheaper alt. It will give you a stun on the build, and you can use a Blast Bones Dawnbreaker, time it with a Boneyard, and that'll kill people too. I just personally like the Colossus because you can go Blast Bones, Colossus, Boneyard, and they all just line up perfectly. It gives major vulnerability, and this will activate the Dark Convergence set earlier than this, so they'll get pulled in already by the time you activate this. So those are the abilities. The CP, for the red CP, I have Pain's Refuge. This reduces damage taken for every negative effect. It's really strong in duels. It gets even stronger in open world when there's a lot of people hitting you. Sustained by Suffering, this gives us 150 mag and stam recovery, also health, but that doesn't matter. It's a very big sustain buff, and I think every build should run this. Survival Instincts, we don't need well-fitted or sturdy on our armor, because this CP gives 25% cost reduction. It is ridiculous, and you can, as long as you don't get too much roll dodge fatigue, you will never run out of stam for roll dodging. And then our final CP is Celerity. Movement speed makes a big deal in Cyrodiil. We don't need Relentlessness because we already have Major Protection from Oakensoul, and the 10% movement speed does a decent job slightly offsetting the movement speed nerf that Iron Blood gives you. For blue CP, we have Ironclad. This reduces direct damage taken by 3% per stage, so 6% less damage taken from direct damage. Most damage is direct damage. It's just the best thing to have here. We have Master at Arms, which is 6% more direct damage done. Every damage we have is direct damage. Lightning Aura, 6% more damage done with AoE. Every damage we have for our main burst is AoE. All of our damage is AoE other than Blood for Blood. So when you are actually killing people, this makes a bigger difference than the single target. And then our final slot, I have Duelist rebuff on here because I was testing it in duels. For open world, you're going to want to go Occult Overload. This is ridiculously strong. I don't understand why it's in the game. Oakensoul shouldn't be in the game either, but 13,000 Oblivion damage. It goes through mitigation. It goes through like percent damage taken buffs. It goes through everything. You can't block it. You can't damage shield it. It is ridiculous. You don't need Plague Break. You don't need Vicious Death. You put this on right here, and you go be able to bomb groups without Plague Break, without Vicious Death, because as long as you have a stat effect on people, which is not terribly hard to do, as long as you have these CPs, you will be able to do so much AoE burst, and it already does really strong AoE burst. So for actually playing it, you want to have this Intensive Mender up 100% of the time. It gives you 200 Magicka and Stamina recovery, and paired with the Minor Intellect and Minor Endurance from Oakensoul, and Major Intellect and Major Endurance from Potions, it increases your recoveries by a very large amount. Probably, I think it's around like 300 just for having this up. So the way you are going to want to play it, for not using the ultimate, you're going to, and also for potions, tri-stats work fine enough, but if you have the gold, you can use heroism pots. With major and minor heroism, you get so much ultimate. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's really, really strong. So the way you're going to burst people without an ultimate is you're going to Blast Bones, do a Blood for Blood. Excuse me, it didn't cast my ability. You're going to do a Blast Bones, do a Blood for Blood, and then do a Avid Boneyard and instantly activate the synergy. It will it'll look like that, and it'll do a lot of damage as long as you get the synergy activated correctly. It will pull everyone into the Blast Bones, into the synergy, and that's basically it. So now that I have my ultimate, I'll show it off with the ultimate. I'm going to first let the synergy cool down and the Dark Convergence cool down, and I think it should be over by now. See, even just with a light attack, we already proc Burning. It's not hard to get status effects for Occult Overload. So you will Blast Bones, drop the ultimate, and then drop Avid Boneyard, and like just that, it is a ridiculous amount of damage. You don't really need a second damage set. Iron Blood makes you unkillable, and if you fail the burst, you can just redo it. If I look at combat metrics, right there, Grave Robber hit for 39k basically, Blast Bones hit for 28k basically, and the first hit of the Colossus was 11k, the second hit was 12.5k. These two, the first hit will hit slightly before the Avid Boneyard, and the second hit will hit slightly after this, and it will, together, the burst basically all hits at the exact same time. This, and these first two hits. So that is incredibly strong. That's like, I'll just round this up, 40k, 30k, 20k together. That's 90k burst. That is on a target dummy. On a player, though, I've seen it one-shot 30k players. I'm going to include a bunch of clips at the end of this. I hope you enjoyed this build. Is really, really broken. It's not a dueling build, and I was able to destroy people in duels. Open world people have much less optimized builds that are a lot squishier. It will be ridiculous. Good luck, and I hope you enjoy the clips and enjoy running this spec.
Of course, you know what a fuse is. It's a long piece of cord impregnated with gunpowder. When you strike a match and light it, it burns fitfully, sputteringly to its end, at which there is a little surprise.
Can someone please explain how I lost the game? Cause I feel alive, but I know that I ain't. And deep inside, I just ain't the same. I'm starting to see that no one else feels how I'm feeling. I'm broken. I swear I love you all, and I just wanna tell you before I fall. Can you hear me? I'm broken. I swear I love you all, and I just wanna tell you before I fall. Can you hear me? I'm broken. Hey yo, I'm broken as they come. You feel like life begun, I feel it's over and done. They make their money rain, I pray for drizzles and crumbs, cause they occupy a palace while I'm living in a slum. But I'ma be the one that's laughing one day, ain't nobody else is rapping this way. Don't nobody see my view, but I don't care, so that's okay. Hand to hand, oh yes I pray, no ambulance take me away. I've been bad with before Eminem and Jay-Z lay hands on Renegade. I'm just being honest, what? No Lambo, no doors go up. Just me and my niggas on the corner with a little bit of liquor pour in our cup. Ha, we reaching game, we might not reach the fame, but we got stories, so I'm saying, could someone please explain how I lost the game? Cause I feel alive, but I know that I ain't. And deep inside, I just ain't the same. I'm starting to see that no one else feels how I'm feeling. I'm broken. I swear I love you all, and I just wanna tell you before I fall. Can you hear me? I'm broken. I swear I love you all, and I just wanna tell you before I fall. I swear they so clever. They want us walking around like we know no better. So our biggest worry is a polo sweater, and then we'll fall asleep next to that cold shepherd. But I'ma be the one to wake us all up. I know y'all been waiting on us. I know y'all debating my flow, cause I got one the haters can't touch. I feel like my tank is on E. This damn shit is sinking on me, but I got people begging on me, so I fight through what they cannot see. I'm just being honest, what? No Lambo, no doors go up. Just me and my niggas on the corner with a little bit of liquor pour in our cup. Ha, we reaching game, we might not reach the fame, but we got stories, so I'm saying, could someone please explain how I lost the game? Cause I feel alive, but I know that I ain't. And deep inside, I just ain't the same. I'm starting to see that